A graphic of the Perkins logo swoops across the screen, revealing a chapter heading. What are tangible symbols?
Tangible symbols grew out of the work by Dr. Van Dijk back in the 1960s, and he did a lot of work with students who are deaf and blind. And he found that several things really can help these children achieve communication and establish links with others. And that's, using movement and using objects, real objects, and then some tangible symbols. And from this, people started working with students using specifically objects and tangible symbol systems.
In a video clip, we see two tangible symbol cards. One is labeled Health Services and has part of a stethoscope and tubing attached. The other, with a small stuffed bear, is labeled Social Play.
They're basically manipulable. That means you can hold them, you can actually grasp them in your hands. They're static in that way that they're permanent, that you can affix them to something, but that the child can hold them for a long time until that understanding comes through.
A small plastic dosing cup has been attached to a large white card labeled Meds. Glued to a different card labeled Toothbrushing, we see a small tube of toothpaste.
You can discriminate what's on them through your tactile sense. So they might have different textures on them. They can be made with different objects attached to them. And another important aspect about tangible symbols is that they represent something else, so that they're symbolic, and yet they don't put a lot of demands on a child's memory. So their recall memory, which can be very difficult to access, doesn't have to go into overdrive. They put very little demands on a child's visual system, so a child with low vision might want to use the symbols too, but they're using their hands to explore them. For example, a piece of a slinky toy might be embedded into a card, and that would represent the slinky. So it's actually taking a piece of the slinky and using it to represent the slinky.
A large white tangible symbol card with a few coils of a plastic slinky toy attached is displayed on a blue felt slant board. A full-size slinky is draped over the board.
One of the symbols that I use a lot with the students, a lot of the kids, they love to get on those big therapy balls, and they're that funny feeling rubbery stuff with the ridges in them. So I had one that had pops, so I cut a piece of it. So the ball that I have on my card is not a ball per se, but it's a piece of that same material that's embedded on the card. So when the child touches that, it'll feel the same.
In a video clip, we see a tangible symbol card with a small piece of a therapy ball attached. As the shot widens out, we can see a large orange therapy ball just to the right of the card.
And then it ranges from something that's so iconic to something that's quite abstract, because we can't cut a piece of the day to become a days of the week symbol. And yet we've developed days of the week symbols for the children to learn about as they're singing the song, their hands are moving left to right, as if they're reading those as the day, Sunday, Monday, all the way through the days of the week.
In a video clip, a young girl who is blind and her teacher sit at a small table and examine a tangible symbol calendar while singing a song about the days of the week.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Distinct shapes or textures differentiate the days.
I think one of the other benefits for a child using symbol systems that we found in our work with young preschoolers is really getting those hands ready to learn and take in more sophisticated information in the world of Braille. So we're getting those kids developing that understanding and how to read with their hands, so that all of that pre-Braille literacy work begins very early, and a lot of it begins with the symbols. Ideally, a symbol would have the part of the object attached to it along with a Braille label, and then a print label, so that somebody who's a print reader would be able to understand what this symbol is representing, but then the Braille label too, so that the child who's initially just touching it is going to have that experience of, oh, finding the Braille, what's this at the bottom?
A spoon with a yellow plastic handle is glued to a tangible symbol card labeled Snack Lunch. Below the spoon, a Braille label is clearly visible.
Each time the child is touching that same symbol, they're getting all of that information through their hands. So that that's all supporting the literacy that will hopefully come for the children.
Fade to black.